So guys, can we show you back into the video? Today's video is what if Cameron was in Total Drama World Tour. So he'd be on Team Amazon. You guys voted for this. So episode 2, Ezekiel still loses the stick. I don't think Cameron affects the episode. Cody gets moved to Team Chris. So episode 3, Alejandro does a monster idea with Noah. I think when Courtney, Gwen and Heather falling out, leaving Izzy and Cameron to do the commission. Now Cameron's pretty smart, but he's not creatively smart, if that makes sense. So Cody was the reason Team Amazon won the original, and I don't think Cameron could pull off the same thing. So I think Heather would try to get Cameron on side because Courtney and Gwen are friends. And I think Cameron would kind of want to vote Courtney, just because of the fact Heather would be more useful for the challenge. Like, Courtney's an athletic competitor, but he'd realise that Courtney and Gwen are starting to become friends at this point. That might be a bit of a problem. And Izzy likes Heather, so I feel like Izzy, Heather and Cameron vote off Courtney, because Courtney's the biggest threat. Would vote for Gwen, because she's been there for now before, she's competed in more seasons and is likely going to win. And Heather and Cameron would just use that logic. I know Heather would see that Cameron would see Heather as a threat down the line, but I think they would realise that Courtney and Gwen could be a power duo once they merge, and Heather says that could be quite threatening, so she convinces Cameron and Izzy to vote off Gwen. I feel like though she gets to vote for Courtney, because Courtney's just generally not as much liked on the team as Gwen is. And I think Cameron and Gwen would still be friends in this episode. They would still have gotten on, but I think Cameron would side with Heather to get rid of Courtney. I just think they vote off Heather, to be honest. I don't think Cameron can affect the challenge. So episode 4 is the Yukon. Now Alejandro still floats with Bridget and gets her stuck to a pole. So 5, non-elimination. 6 is Aftermath. So slap revolution then. So Alejandro says Lashana sees the day, but he can't. So I think Sierra, Alejandro and Noah. And then Courtney and Izzy. Lashana, Harold and DJ. I think Team Chris lose. And I think Alejandro convinces Noah, Cody and Tyler to vote Sierra. And I think they just vote off Sierra, to be honest. Episode 8. The Amazon race. Hands left, right, Duels left, Tarek, Team Chris, Team Amazon lose. I think they vote off Izzy in this version, because Courtney and Gwen both like each other. And Gwen is friends with Cameron, so I think Courtney would just be happy to vote with them to get and keep Cameron around. In episode 9, Counterplaying and Love You, DJ shows as Team Statue. In this instance, was the 3 of them. They just vote him off. A 10 nomination, so Jamaica. So there's no Izzy jump out the plane, so no one's by themselves. So in the original timeline, Courtney does really good in this challenge, and Team Chris do. So I think Team Victory would actually lose, and LaShawn and Harold would just vote off Lindsay. But there's no double elimination. So 12 is an Aftermath, and then we have Duncan's return. So Noah and Owen find Jack the Ripper, and then Courtney and Gwen find Duncan. So the team has only about Duncan. It's Duncan's second prize, and then they just come back with nothing. So Harold loses the tiebreaker. So episode 14, the kiss still happens, and Tyler witnesses. So it's Duncan, Gwen, and Lashana. Gwen still wins. The fighting part's Lashana, Courtney, and I think it's going to be Owen, because he volunteered for Tyler in the original, and there's 1-on-1 now, which would be a 1v1v1. Courtney wins the challenge, Team Amazon is safe. Alejandro tries to show off still because he's very full of himself, so even though it's not Courtney's racing. He's still crashing the hills and causes a tiebreaker. So Cody and Lashana have to face a tiebreaker. When Cody hears about the kiss, he wants to save Gwen in the original, but now with him and Duncan on the same team, he wants to get rid of Duncan. So everyone votes for Duncan, but Duncan has immunity because of what like he does with Courtney in action. He gets rid of Tyler. I know it doesn't make sense, but like that's how I think it would go. Episode 15. The X-Files. So Courtney still throws and actually wins it. I think Alejandro and Duncan make that deal. And I think Lashana just goes home. Goodbye. So, episode 9. It's kind of hard though. Episode 14. Actually, that's 8 people. Yeah, but plainly though. Actually, episode 14, let's just, Tyler doesn't screw up. Yeah, so this is a non-elimination then. So this is just a non-elimination. Sorry about that. So episode 14 is just a non-elimination. Or like in the original timeline. So Cody comes with us again, Tyler screws up. Yeah, well, Shauna still goes. Like I just said, she goes home. Because they get an item, Team Chris get an item, Team Amazon accidentally win. So Courtney throws the challenge, and then Courtney goes home, so that's kind of it. Non-elimination, and Blaney joins, and now we're at the merge. So Cameron, the underdog, has made merge. I think that's kind of funny. So, I think it's Duncan and Owen, Gwen, Cody and Duncan, Noah, Alejandro, Gwen and Tyler retrieves Cameron, Cameron and Duncan retrieve Cody and Bear. So Duncan and Cameron win the challenge because Cameron's not arguing for the entire time and Duncan would just get him across. So they win immunity. Now Owen's still revealed as the fan favourite here, so I think there's still no reason for him not to go home. In episode 20 it's the eating challenge, everyone qualifies for the eating round. So Cameron would be out first and Tyler and Cody. These two would not do that well in this challenge. Noah would be out and Alejandro because he wouldn't. Cody's allowed to cheat from now, so he'd be the first one out. Alejandro notices that Blaney's cheating in this challenge, but Alejandro's not called out because he wants to keep Blaney on his side. Getting rid of Blaney at this point would not be a good move by Alejandro, so this would not be a good quality move by him. And, Gwen and Duncan, I think Gwen wins the challenge for Drunk Out of Toilet Season 1. So Alejandro convinces Tyler that we need to vote for Blaney because she cheated. I think Cody, he'd vote for Duncan, so it's for Duncan. Noah, Cameron, vote Blaney. Gwen, Duncan, these 4 vote Blaney. The other 4 vote for Duncan. Duncan and Blaney are just sent home. Episode 21 is F9 Safari. So Alan just plans to trip Duncan into so much time tells Washington or Ezekiel. I think Cameron and Noah would be traveling together. I think Cameron and Noah would actually get along very well. I think Gwen would try to get Noah and Cody in the odds, but now that Duncan's gone, Cody's going to be in this 4-person alliance. And Alejandro's plan still works to trip him like he does in the original, and he still wins. But Alejandro's immune. So the 4 verify Tyler as the biggest threat that's not immune. So I think Alejandro would notice that Gwen's probably in a bit of trouble here. I know there's Noah and Cameron are smart players. So I think they're going to prefer to get rid of Tyler than getting rid of Gwen. I think he gets Tyler to vote for Gwen. And I think he says, yeah, it's Tyler's time to go. I don't think Alejandro could save Tyler here. So F22, after Safari's, Alejandro races to the top. He dodges the board. Like it was originally, he does get there first, not to unfaithful. So Alejandro still wins the challenge. So Alejandro gets Cody to vote for Cameron. And he gets Cameron to vote for... He tries to convince Noah and Cameron, because these two are the bigger threats. So he gets Cody and Cameron to vote for Noah. Because Noah's a person he's been threatened by for quite some time, and he's done quite well. But now that Alejandro's immune, so they're just going to vote for Noah, so I think Noah just kind of gets screwed over. And Cameron kind of realizes, oh dear, maybe it wasn't a good idea to get rid of Noah. Episode 23, Alejandro still finds the barrel early on, but then distracted by Heather. Now Heather's not there. I think with the equipment he just did charge faster, so Alejandro wins. And actually, do I think this would still happen? Tyler and Noah. Okay, so I feel like here he gets to Cameron, and he gets to Noah, and he says to the two, we have to vote for Cody. Because Cody is generally liked and him and Gwen would be a threatening duo. And I think Noah says we should vote Gwen. Cameron would be okay with voting for Gwen. Because Alejandro said, who would Gwen pick in the finale? Cameron or Noah? Or Cameron or Cody? And I think they just vote off Cameron. They vote off Gwen. No, I think this, yeah, makes more sense. So I think here, Alejandro would go with the other two to get rid of Cameron. So Cameron's out. So Cameron came fourth in this timeline. Non-elimination, and 25 is versus Hawaii. So Cody doesn't give up because I think it's more determined with Gwen here. So I think Gwen, I don't think she throws the challenge, but I think Cody would get ahead before Gwen, so Gwen would just give him the win. So I think Cody and Alejandro are both in the finale. So this is the information the season would have gone if Cameron was in Total Drama World Tour. And yeah, peace, farewell.